I want to talk for a second about why it is that the cult of MAGA is fracturing, why Republicans are starting to peel themselves off from Donald Trump like rats fleeing a sinking ship, and what I think it means for the political landscape over the next coming days, weeks, months. I've seen too many people say that Epstein is the thing that's fracturing the cult, and I don't think that that's really true. I know when we saw the vote for the discharge petition and all of the Republicans willing to vote against what Donald Trump wanted, I don't actually think it was public pressure around the Epstein files that resulted in that vote. Yeah, I think a little bit. I think it's a little bit, but we've seen too many Republicans who are actually like low-key totally fine with girls and women being assaulted and trafficked and victimized. I think in terms of elected officials, what we're seeing is that they are becoming aware of the fact that the power is shifting, that they thought the power resided with Donald Trump, and it's now become apparent to them that, one, Donald Trump never had the consent of the governed. He never had a mandate from the people. But also, the longer Donald Trump is in office, the more terrible things Trump and the Republicans try to do, the more public opinion turns against all of them, against all of the fascists. And at the same time, the people are looking to other folks to lend their power to. So early in the year, we had these empty chair town halls. We were all calling our Republican members of Congress, and I had a lot of people saying, like, there's no point in doing this because my Republican elected doesn't give a shit what I think. They don't care about the constituents at all. They only care what Donald Trump thinks. But I don't think that that was ever true. I think that Republicans were misjudging where power was residing at the time. And now it's really apparent to them that whatever power Donald Trump did have is now draining away from him and is moving elsewhere. Because ultimately the power lies with the people. And if we have not extended that power to an elected official, they can only hold on so long, especially if we are not willing to lay down and obey, especially if we are willing to claim our power and support elected officials who are willing to do what we want, who are willing to use our power responsibly when we lend it to them. And speaking of the power residing with the people, I think this is really the crux of the issue, is that for a lot of MAGA voters, they are looking at the fact that the economy is in terrible shape. Everything is so much worse off than it was a year ago. The jobs numbers, the economic numbers for Donald Trump are abysmal. But Donald Trump promised to make America great again. I keep going back to that More Perfect Union video where Bernie Sanders went to West Virginia to a coal mining community, and he was like, okay, y'all used to vote Democratic, but you went really hard, like 70% for Donald Trump. What happened?
If I say that I think the United States should do what every other major country on earth does, guarantee health care to all people as a human right, are you going to think I'm a communist and a terrible person?
I think if people listen, if you talk the way that you did, and you're so reasonable, like they've painted you in a bad light, and it actually makes me very angry because, you see things and you believe it. I'll just be honest, I haven't really seen you talk before. I haven't really I don't follow politics that much. And so the last couple days before this, I started watching some of your speeches and I started watching your interviews, and I was shocked. I was like, oh.
Not as bad as they had told you, huh?
This is not how he's portrayed in the media, right?
We're told that the biggest divide in America is between left and right. But Bernie came here to flip that story on its head.
I think that whether you're in rural West Virginia or in Burlington, Vermont, you got the same exact issues. And I think we don't let people divide us up. We got to come together to fight for all of us.
You have been to how many Bernie rallies now?
3.
And over what period of time did that take place?
2 days. The first night was just real eye-opening for me. It was like a whole mind shift of my whole belief system of how we could come together as a people.
Yeah.
We all want our kids to have a safe place to live. We all want our kids to have food. We all want our kids to have health care. There's no difference.
Okay, go watch the whole thing. It's on their YouTube channel. I think it's 14 minutes long. I cannot stop thinking about this documentary and Bernie going and talking to folks in West Virginia. And instead of being oh, the only reason that they voted for Donald Trump is because they're horrible racist monsters, and it's all it was. It was just racism. I'm somebody who has said America wouldn't vote for a black woman, and I think that to an extent is true, but I also think that is insufficient as an explanation. I think it lacks nuance, and if we don't look deeper than that, it's going to be significantly more difficult to solve this problem. We need to understand why it is that so many people, especially in rural America, especially folks who are blue-collar union members who are longtime Democratic voters, abandoned the Democratic Party because they felt the Democratic Party abandoned them. And they voted for Donald Trump because he told them he was going to make America great again. He told them he was going to bring them prosperity. That's what they were voting for. They weren't saying like, oh, I'm voting for Donald Trump because I want an ethnic cleansing of immigrants. Most people who voted for Donald Trump believed that he was a populist. The American people have an appetite for populism. The problem is so many conservative Americans, they believed the lies of Donald Trump. Maybe you and I, we knew there's no fucking way that a billionaire who has spent his entire career grifting and conning people is in any way ever going to be a populist. He only cares about the super rich. As is abundantly clear to all of us, including a lot of Trump voters, are realizing, oh shit, this regime is all about corruption. It's all about funneling our tax dollars up to the super rich. It's all about stripping away workers' rights, environmental protections, workers, fair pay, collective bargaining. It's all about making things far worse for us, the working class, so that the super rich are the ones who can prosper off of our blood, sweat, toil, off our backs, off our very lives. So I really think that what is at the heart of so many MAGA starting to peel off is the economic numbers. It is the more they hear about what Donald Trump is actually doing in this country, the way that he is actively hurting the working class. I think the scales are falling from a lot of folks' eyes. They are seeing that he's not actually a populist, and he never was. People are losing access to their health care. They're losing their jobs. They realize their children won't be able to get student loans for college. They see the future as far more bleak than it was when Donald Trump started promising them that he was going to make America great. And they're realizing he never cared about the working class at all. He is not a populist. But they still have an appetite for populism, as we can see with Zoran Mamdani getting elected, as we can see when you go to Americans, be they conservative or be they, on the center or be they on the political left, when you talk to them about the issues, when you don't use scary words like socialism, when you just say, don't you think healthcare should be a human right? What is it that would give your family a good quality of life? How do you think an elected official should facilitate that for you? They want a populist. And I think that what is happening in terms of public opinion swinging so hard against Trump, in terms of Republicans seeing that the power is shifting away from Trump and back to the people, and so they are looking to flee Trump. They are fracturing as the cult fractures, as that support shifts away from him. What everybody is seeing is that this country has an appetite for populism, but Donald Trump is a robber baron. Donald Trump represents the oligarchy. He only cares about the super rich. He only cares about grifting off of us. It's all about corruption. $40 billion for his friends in Argentina. $500,000 apiece for Republicans in the Senate. Just obscene quantities of our taxpayer money that is going straight to the super rich. I heard today that thanks to cuts from Donald Trump and the Republicans, Oregonians are no longer going to have our tsunami warning system. It costs about $300,000 and protects hundreds of thousands of lives on the Oregon coast. If you're staying on the Oregon coast, don't you want to get a tsunami warning, a tsunami alert on your phone, a phone call that could save your life, that could give you time to move to higher ground? We're in the Cascadia subduction zone, for God's sake. Nope, that's all gone. Funding for that has been cut. But Donald Trump spent $3.4 million on a Halloween party. Donald Trump is funneling obscene quantities of the American people's money into his own pocket, into the pocket of his friends, the super rich. Donald Trump is a robber baron. He's not a populist. And as we're watching corporate establishment Democrats, I'm going to talk about this in the next video, be really, really scared of a populist movement, because they are also beholden to the oligarchy. Anybody who cares about their stock portfolio, who cares about the dark money that funds them, who cares about the interests of corporations and billionaires above the people, is really shaken in their britches right now, be they Republicans or be they corporate establishment Democrats. The American electorate, not just on the political left, but also on the political right, wants populism. A vote for Donald Trump from conservative America actually was a vote for populism. They just got hoodwinked. They just got lied to real hard, and he pandered to the underlying racism and misogyny that exists. But he really fooled them with Make America Great. He really told them that he was going to revitalize all of these industries. He was going to make things better for the working class, and that is not what they are experiencing right now. Universal health care, a higher minimum wage, fair housing, a decent quality of life for working class people. These are winning issues right now. Trump didn't deliver on those, and that is why MAGA is fracturing.